Alright y'all, I'm going to give you my dirty, honest opinions and review post break-in on this 801 Svartpilen from Husqvarna that I just got recently. Alright, let's go. First off, I'm not going to talk about the issues surrounding KTM and all the stuff going on there with them financially and their restructuring. I'm just going to focus on this motorcycle and on just giving you my opinions on it. That's what I want to do. Just right off the bat, this motorcycle is, the best way to describe it is premium and just dialed in. This is a fantastic motorcycle. When I purchased this motorcycle, I did not expect, it was kind of just a yeah, just an unexpected purchase, just out of nowhere, out of the blue. I test rode it and I expected it to be good, but I didn't expect it to be as good as it is. So I ended up buying it and I was like, wow, you know, it just blew me away. I liked the styling on it and that attracted me to it because I think it looks like what a modern bike should look like in the styling department. It's a, well, in Husqvarna's words, a dark, what do they call it, a dark street tracker or something like that. I'll start with the engine. The motor's fantastic. It has good torque from low down. I wouldn't say it's like a large torque hump, you know, like you get on bikes like Harley, the traditional Harleys and stuff, but it's just a solid line of torque all the way across the RPM range, and it makes it good for just your normal riding. But once you get going on this motorcycle and get the revs up, it really breaks out and comes to life and it's fun. But actually, you know, as good as the engine is, the thing that really stood out to me and sold me on this motorcycle was the handling. I thought this was one of the best handling bikes I've ever rode, or just and I know it's going to be limited by the tires because they're like kind of semi-knobby, but they're really good on the street. I think it's Pirelli Scorpion something and others, and they do just fine though. This bike, when it goes into a corner, I've never felt a bike that just feels as stable as this motorcycle does. Like, it's not wiggling the suspension. You don't feel it trying to settle in. It just, as soon as you're in that curve, it's settled in. It's on rails just right off the bat, and you feel like you can take any turn with great confidence. So it's amazing in the handling department, and plus it's got adjustable compression and rebound. I think it's like 5 settings or something. And then you got adjustable suspension in the rear. It's got the monoshock, compression and rebound adjustable and preload, I believe. So yeah, excellent in the handling department. Obviously this bike is loaded with tech, and I'm sure there's a ton of videos out there. Yeah, I think I even went through it a little bit in my first video. Usually, you know, tech is a secondary thing for me when I'm looking at a motorcycle. So that's not the reason I bought this, but this thing is loaded with tech, especially if you pay the extra money and get the dynamic pack. But it's still good even if you don't. The dynamic pack there's adjustable slip control, how much the bike will let you get loose before it intervenes. Several levels of that. You can adjust the wheelie control, how high it will let you get the front wheel off the ground before it intervenes and cuts the power, or however it does it. But actually I've not even tried that thing because I've just got it broke in. But it's got, oh yeah, you can turn off the rear ABS, which, I mean, dude, come on, you can have some fun like this. And I'll get to this is not a scrambler motorcycle really. It's definitely a street bike. The suspension's too stiff. Yeah, and not enough travel. It's not an off-road bike. Definitely not an extreme off-road. You could take it on like flat gravel roads and dirt roads and be fine, you know, as long as there's no hardcore stuff. You know, I live on a gravel road and I can fly on this bike on that gravel road. Definitely a street motorcycle. I guess they put the knobby tires on there to kind of give you that, it's more of a styling thing, I guess. But these tires actually perform really well. Also, you can add a quick shifter onto this bike and it's fantastic. Yeah, no, I mean, it's smooth. There's no hiccups in it. It shifts up smooth, it shifts down smooth. There's a, you can feel it in the shifter. It's got kind of a notch to it, but as far as the way it transmits through the bike, there's no harshness to it. It's really good. I really like it. So the tech, top notch. It's got Bluetooth and all kinds of stuff. I've not even dove into it too much, and you can connect it with the Husqvarna app, and I think you can, sadly they have some kind of subscription thing, I think, where you can pay and track all kinds of rides and stuff like that. And that's probably one of the negatives that stands out to me, is how they're charging for these extra things on the bike that are already basically built into the bike, but you're just having to pay to use it. That is the biggest pitfall and mistake that they could make with this motorcycle. That being said, if you take this motorcycle out and take it on a test ride, the motorcycle is just premium quality, dialed in, amazing. It really is. And there's a lot of details in the styling, like all throughout the bike, which I'll you know, do a walk around of it and show that if I haven't already. And you can just see that a lot of thought went into this machine. It's not like they just slapped something together real quick, even though it is based off the 790 Duke. There's a lot of thought that went into the styling of this machine. It looks really good. So I applaud Husqvarna, KTM, whoever designed it. It's a good job. This is an awesome machine, and it looks way better than a 790 Duke. No offense to those that like the KTMs. It's a subjective topic, but overall this is a very grown-up, handsome looking machine. It just looks more mature than the KTM. And you know, I've not rode the 790 Duke. This has, I think, like 10 or 15 more horsepower than the 790, the current 790 Duke that you can buy. The throttle delivery is, oh, it's smooth. It's adjustable with different ride modes, and there's the dynamic pack where you can adjust how aggressive you want the throttle to be. But even in regular street mode, which is what I use in the dynamic mode, the throttle is really good. So smooth. Love it. Oh yeah, the braking. The brakes are great. Really, really good. Are they the best brakes I've ever used? I don't know if I'd say they're the best, but they're good. They're really good. And there's not a lot of dive on this machine when under braking too. Like I said, the handling, it corners so flat, so predictably. It's such a fun machine in the corners. Part of the premium quality is it not just how it, like the performance side of the braking, but it's the feel of the braking. It feels good. The levers on this machine are great for 1-2 finger shifting and braking, and I really, I like that about it. Tons of torque. Oh, when she screams. I'm kind of in town. There's probably some cops around here, so I got to be careful. But this bike has tons of power. One of the biggest downfalls, though, the stock exhaust, but this is going to be on any modern bike. Just the Euro emissions stuff that we all have come to have a love-hate relationship with. Basically, any modern bike is going to be extremely muted, and it's no different here. The character of this motor it's got character, like on D-Cell. I don't know if I can capture it. There's a little bit of burbles and pops, but it's just really muted. So with a proper exhaust on this bike, it would sound amazing. And I gotta make a pit stop, and then I'll get back to it. made my pit stop. I'm gonna get back after it now. And yes, my dog does ride the motorcycle with me, and this is not, I'm a custom made that, so that does not come with the bike. Normally you got your little, it's a passenger seat like this that's part of the body, but I just made me a custom metal plate and kind of put some rubber around it for now. It's a prototype, it's not final. But anyways, my bike needs washed so bad. Alrighty, where were we? So nimble. This bike, oh yeah, this bike's also really light and easy to push around the garage too. I think it's in the low 400 range, maybe 420 or something, the weight on this motorcycle. I mean, I don't know, guys. Yeah, I rode this bike. I don't know. It just felt right. That's all I can say. It felt right, and that's why I purchased it. Also, the riding position, I forgot to mention that. The seat's actually pretty comfortable. It's a hard seat, but not too hard. I mean, you could tour across the country on this, like a lighter person than me especially, and probably go several hours on the seat without getting uncomfortable, I think. But for me, it's about an hour and a half that I'll ride on this bike before I want to get off, take a break, you know. And I mean, if I put just like a little pad on there for if I was doing some serious miles, then I could absolutely tour on this motorcycle. Absolutely. I guess another big caveat though, or feature or something, just like I said, getting back to the KTM thing, I don't even like talking about it. There are tons of parts for this bike already in existence, you know. So I think I'll be good for a long time. However, as far as getting new parts, like accessories directly from Husqvarna, KTM, when I say accessories, I mean like bags and stuff like that. That's a, you know, that could possibly be an issue if you can't like kind of custom make your own stuff or don't want to. It's possible that'll be an issue. There is some stuff out there though that you can already get, so, but not a ton yet, at least. And honestly, I wish the motorcycling world would make more we would see more bikes that are just like this or very close to it. The chassis of this motorcycle, I feel like is better or more capable than the tires are. Now, I've rode some other bikes that handle good, but it feels like the chassis, the suspension is just kind of slacking compared to the tires on the bike, I guess you'd say. And this is kind of the reverse of that. So it feels like a really quality bike, and if you put a really good tire on here, this machine, oh man, it could be, oh, it could really, it's very capable is what I'm trying to say. And I like that. But at the same time, this bike's kind of got a slight bit of utilitarian use. Actually, the covers here are plastic on this fuel tank, but this part is metal, so you can put basically any tank bag on here with magnets, you know, and obviously you can get the O-ring or the gas cap O-ring style of tank bags. It's made to set up for that, you know. What's up, bro? And like, I like just riding easy on this bike just as much as I like getting after it on this bike and riding spiritedly. That's what I'm saying. It's good at, there's nothing I've found that it's not really great at. Obviously not an off-road dual sport dirt bike, you know, or a true scrambler. But if you can get past that, this is a very awesome, good bike, and I have a feeling you'll really like it, especially if you put an exhaust on it. Anyways, guys, that is all I got for this motorcycle. All I got for this review. I love it. And I really enjoy it, and I'll give updates as time goes on. If I have camshaft issues, well, I'm going to tell you, you know. So I guess I'll be the guinea pig there. And this, obviously, this is a 2025 model. And if they still have camshaft issues on this model, then I wouldn't trust KTM, period, unless they really show, you know, that they're going to make some serious changes, and they're going to be good to their, you know, their followers, their customers, and the people that love the brand. So anyways, that's it. God bless. Oh yeah, don't forget, the gospel of Jesus Christ is the power unto salvation and everlasting life to all that believe. The most powerful wisdom and knowledge you can ever obtain in this world. Love you guys. Have a good day. God bless each and every one of you. Peace.